have a dull kitchen knife and can't be bothered to by a sharpener, don't throw it away just yet. In just a few minutes, I'll show you how to make even a dull knife razor sharp again using simple ingredients you probably already have at home. No whetstones, no expensive tools, and the results are guaranteed to amaze you. Now let's try cutting. Here, I've prepared a very strong rope, a plastic rope like this. If the knife is sharp, it should be able to cut. Now we can see the results. I'll press down, so I'll apply full force, but it won't cut at all. We can see the results like this. It won't cut at all. The method is quite simple. We don't need to buy a sharpening tool or whetstone. First, we'll use a readily available ingredient, toothpaste. Its function is to clean any remaining oil or seasoning residue on the blade. Since I use this knife frequently, there's a lot of residue on this part. First, we clean it using toothpaste. Add a little water first, then add the toothpaste and brush it with an old toothbrush. This will remove any remaining oil on the blade. Once it's clean, rinse it thoroughly with clean water. Rub the entire blade evenly, especially the part of the blade that's frequently used for cutting. Do this slowly and don't rub too hard to avoid damaging the blade surface. Make sure every surface is thoroughly rubbed to remove all remaining dirt, oil, and fine rust. Repeat this process several times until the blade surface looks cleaner and shinier. Once you're satisfied, you can move on to the next step to make the blade sharp again. Then, dry the knife using a clean cloth or dry tissue until no water remains. Ensure the knife is dry to ensure the next step is more effective and less slippery when held. Once the knife is clean and dry, we can move on to the next step, sharpening using simple household materials. Now, we've cleaned the knife to remove any remaining oil, dirt, or rust. If the knife is dirty, the sharpening process won't be optimal. So, make sure the surface is completely clean and ready to move on to the next step. Now, before we sharpen it, I'll prove to you again that this knife isn't sharp at all. Let's try the rope again. I'll press it like this, and you can see it's not sharp at all. If it were, my hand would definitely hurt. So, let's prepare the ingredients, which are easily available at home, so we don't need to buy any tools. Here, we're using a ceramic or porcelain bowl, not glass. This rough bottom of the bowl is what we'll use to sharpen the knife. The method is quite simple. First, lightly wet the bottom of the bowl with water, not too much, just enough to moisten the surface. Next, add a small amount of toothpaste to the blade and spread it evenly before beginning the sharpening process. Sharpening is very simple. Tilt the knife slightly and then swipe it against the bottom of the ceramic bowl. Remember, don't point it forward, but backward. Do this slowly to remove any rust from the blade. Then, after we've rubbed one side, we can flip the knife over like this. So, we'll do this process back and forth between the right and left sides of the blade for optimal results. Do this slowly and consistently to ensure the blade is sharpened evenly. There's no need to rush. The key is to apply steady pressure so the knife can return to its original sharpness and be more effective when used later. Continue the sharpening process using the same motion repeatedly. Rub the blade against the bottom of the ceramic bowl at a slight angle, following the angle of the blade. Do this slowly and steadily for a more even and optimal result. Occasionally add a little water if the surface starts too dry to maintain a smooth grind. Continue until you feel satisfied and the blade feels smoother and sharper when gently touched. Once you feel the sharpening process is sufficient, let's first clean the blade of any remaining toothpaste. You can do this by washing it with clean water, then wiping it with a tissue or dry cloth until it's completely clean and smooth. Make sure there's no remaining dirt on the blade. Afterward, we'll test the sharpness of the knife we've sharpened using simple, readily available materials. So, folks, here are the results of the sharpening process we just completed. You can see that the blade now looks cleaner, smoother, and slightly shinier than before. This indicates that the dirt and fine rust that had previously adhered to it are starting to disappear. While it may seem simple, this sharpening process using a ceramic bowl is quite effective in restoring the knife's sharpness. Now we can see the difference before and after sharpening. Let's test it on the part of the rope that previously couldn't be cut. Now let's try again. As you can see, it cuts very easily. Let's repeat the process to see. Wow, amazing! It's incredibly sharp. It's more than enough for just cutting vegetables or fruit at home. It can even cut tough rope, let alone soft materials like fruit or vegetables. So, there's no need to buy a sharpening tool. You can sharpen it yourself using a porcelain bowl, ceramic cup, or ceramic plate. The important thing is that it's made of porcelain. Hopefully, this simple trick will be helpful for everyone. Now let's continue testing the knife sharpness using newspaper. Typically, a truly sharp knife will easily cut through the paper without having to apply much pressure. Let's try this slowly, pointing the blade at the newspaper and then pulling down, as you can see. The newspaper immediately cuts smoothly and neatly. This indicates that the sharpening process was successful. The previously dull knife is now sharp again and ready for various kitchen uses. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this simple trick, don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay healthy and see you in the next video. Wow, awesome!